What is going on, everybody out there? Lamont at large. Today I am in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. And I got some bad news. I found out a couple days ago that my attorney died. His name was Adam Stokes. Why was he my attorney? Well, I'm gonna tell you that story right now, and it all starts right here at these apartments. Now, if you guys don't know Las Vegas very well, these apartments right here are nothing like what they used to be about 20 years ago. 20 years ago, these were referred to as weeklies. These were dumpy, weekly hotel-style apartments that a lot of drug dealers and sex workers and all this, that, and the third, they all lived in places like this. It's week to week. Then there was no credit check or nothing like that. So I lived here because, well, I was driving a taxi and I was kind of in between places. So I rented an apartment here. Back then it was like $230 a week. So I lived here for the summer of 2006. Now, back in July of 2006, I'm at the apartment, it's my day off. So I'm gonna jump on my motorcycle and I'm gonna hit the gym. Just as I was about to get on my motorcycle, a friend of mine called me. So me and my friend start talking or whatever while I'm on my motorcycle. So we talked for about maybe 15 or 20 minutes. After I was done, I come out of here and I hang a left and I drive down the street right here. Now the gym was north of here, but for some unknown reason, I have no idea. Instead of me hanging a left, I hang a right, and that's where it all went bad. This is about a 35-mile-an-hour speed zone right here. So I'm riding my 1986 Yamaha FZ600, okay? It's a 35-mile-an-hour zone. I'm doing about 40 miles an hour. You know, I'm a lawbreaker. I'm thugging on my bike, okay? I'm a regular speed demon, if you will, going 5 miles over the speed limit. I'm in the far left lane right here on this one-lane road. Now, I'm gonna go to that light and make a left. Now, right ahead of me, about 1.5 seconds ahead of me, was this white Honda. And I'm just going. Now, you see this little side street right here? This has been the bane of a lot of Las Vegas accidents, is right here. And it's because, well, people aren't paying attention to the cars pulling out of here. You got cars right here that, even though it's a 35-mile-an-hour zone, they're doing 50, 60 miles an hour. So as I'm going to that light to hang a left, this car, for some unknown reason, in the lane to my right, decides to turn into this street from the second to the right lane. And they just turned right in front of me and I smacked their car, boom! Smacked their car right here. And I remember it just like it was yesterday. Let's hope I don't get ran over here. And I hit the car right here, and I think I landed right here, right in this very spot. It was like slow motion when I seen it happen. Thank God that at the time I was able to get up. So I'm on the ground and it's July, and I'm just like, I can't believe I just got hit by a car. One of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my entire life. I open my eyes and she's looking right down at me. She's like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I'm looking at her, I swear to God, she looked like a Latina version of Elizabeth Taylor, circa 1951. Stunning, amazing, amazing. And it looked like she had just went to like some photo shoot because she had this really tight wife beater on and blue jeans and high heels. Very, very attractive woman. Did I mention that she was cute? So I open my eyes and I see this gorgeous woman. She's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not okay." And I see my bike right there. And I'm like, "Look at my bike." And I had just bought a lower fairing kit for my bike. I was gonna put it on my day off. And then all of a sudden, my body starts feeling the burning pavement because it's July out here, it's summertime. So I jump up and I remember I jumped up and I stumbled and fell right here on this mound. I'm like, ugh. And I'm like, I was pissed and I was like cussing and yelling, "Look what you did to my bike." I was so angry. I was so mad. But at least she was very, very attractive. Okay, this part of the video, Lamont gets a little bit testy. So I'm just beside myself. I just got involved in an accident. My bike is ruined. That's my only mode of transportation. And so this girl, looking stunning, I'm mad at her though. I'm mad at her. So somebody calls 911. So they come out here and the ambulance comes up and like 2 guys jumped out and then a fire truck came and then 4 guys jumped out. And this was so weird and strange. Check this out. So I'm telling them exactly what happened. And one of the paramedics comes up from behind me. He said, "Lamont, listen, I know you're upset right now, but I need you to do a big favor to me and my guys. You just got involved in an accident and I'm concerned about your neck. So don't move. Stay very still." And they come with a backboard and they take me up off my feet. And I'm like, they didn't even warn me. And they picked, and then like now I'm like on this stretcher, this back stretcher thing, hard piece of plastic. And then they start strapping me in. And I'm like, "What are you guys doing?" They're like, "Right now we need to mobilize your neck until we can get x-rays because sometimes when people, they don't realize that they've really hurt their neck. And before, it gets any more damage, sometimes it's too late." They said, "Do not move your neck." And they put me in this thing and I couldn't move. And then they took me in the ambulance. So check this out. This is one of the most angriest times of my life that I've ever been. So they take me into the ambulance. I go to the hospital, to Sunrise, a couple miles from here. And I'm in I'm like in this hallway thing, and I'm on this stretcher. I can't move my neck. I'm still there, and I'm not realizing it at this time. But I got a little bit more hurt than what I knew. So I go to the X-ray thing, and they said it's okay. Everything looks fine. And the doctor, he said, "I'm gonna have to take care of those wounds." So I look at my arms, and if you can kind of see them, you still see the scars. So on both my arms, right there, if you can see it, see that little rash right there? I had asphalt stuck in my wounds. Like I'm like bleeding and it looks very gross. I said, "Holy crap." And the doctor was like, "All right," he goes, "I got to get that out of your arm right now." And he takes this brush, like it looks like something that you would use to like scuff shoes or something. And I said, "You're gonna do that to my arm?" And he said, he goes, "No, I'm gonna put some gel on it." He goes, "Right now," he said, "it won't hurt that much, but I gotta get this done because you don't want that in your arm." So he takes the brush, he goes, "Ka, ka, 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 ka." And yeah, it hurt pretty good. I was in pain. And so, as this plane, Southwest. So, after they get the asphalt out of my arm, I'll never forget this. One of the ambulance guys tells me, I can't believe he said this. I don't know why he said this, but he says, "I guess next time when we ride, we'll be wearing a jacket now, won't we?" And let me tell you, when he told me that, I don't know if I've ever yelled like that in my life. I said, I was throwing F-bombs and F-you, MFer, because listen, I've already had my bike ruined and destroyed. I've already got my scars, these scars on my arms and I'm kind of worried about like what the scars are gonna look like later on, because it looks really nasty. I mean, my skin was gone. I said, holy crap, I don't know if I needed surgery or what. But it ended up later on not being as bad. I mean, considering how bad it was, it's healed up very, very, very well. Every time I come here, I always stop by and say hello to the champ right here, Diego Corrales Jr. He was a very famous boxer, lived in Las Vegas, died in a motorcycle accident. Rest in peace, champ. So going back to the story, so after I'm done cussing out half of the hospital, I am visited by, well, it's two of the police officers that responded to my accident. And one of them I knew, well, because he's dealt with me before. And I had a warrant for my arrest for a traffic ticket or something like that. And I was gonna pay the warrant, I just didn't get around to do it. So when they came to the hospital, I said, are you gonna arrest me? Because I got a traffic warrant. And he said, nah, I don't care about that. I just came to see how you were doing. I'm like, oh, thank you for stopping by, I appreciate it. And he told me, as he was leaving, he said, you're moving around pretty good. Because by this time now, I'm up and I'm walking. And I said, yeah. He said, you're not gonna be able to get up out of bed tomorrow. And I said, really? He said, you'll see. And boy, was he right. The next day, oh my God, my entire body was in agony. I literally felt like I got hit by a train. So now my bike is gone. I don't have any transportation and I cannot work for at least a good week. Was barely able to move that entire day. So now I'm thinking, okay, who can I get for a lawyer, right? So I'm like looking for lawyers and I'm trying to remember all of the commercials that I've seen on TV. So I called Glenn Lerner at first. And well, he actually didn't pick up the phone. I thought that was so strange. Nobody answered the phone. It just kept ringing and ringing and ringing. So finally I'm like, whose ad have I seen around town? You know, there's like a lot of billboards, attorneys advertising all the time. And I remember the 444 guy, probably too many fours right there, but you know what I mean. This guy, Adam Stokes, he was advertising all over bus benches and billboards, like little billboards on the buses, on the backs of the buses. He had like a little law office. I think it was called Half Price Lawyers. And he had like a ticket thing. It was 444-4444. And I was like, okay, I'll call him. Because I remembered him and I remembered his commercials.
Have you been hurt in a car wreck? Call the Half Price Lawyers. Get more dough in your pocket with the Half Price Lawyers low price guarantee.
Attorney Adam Stokes here for Half Price Lawyers. Listen, I promise we'll make it easy for you, we'll work fast, and we'll work hard to put more dough in your pocket, guaranteed.
The lawyers at Half Price Lawyers got me almost $2 million.
Want more dough? Call 400-0000.
Half Price Lawyers. Call 400-0000.
Oh. So I call 444-444. I call all fours. I just kept pressing 4 until somebody answered. So he's like, hey, what's going on? This is attorney Adam Stokes. He was on the speakerphone, right? And I said, hey, I got into a motorcycle accident. He says, whose fault was it? I said, it was theirs. And I said, and the lady that hit me, boy, she was smoking hot. He said, really? I said, yes, you had to have seen her. So he says, hey, can you come by my office right now? I said, I'll be there in 15 minutes. So I borrowed my friend's car and I headed down to his office. Very, very nice guy, a little bit older than me at the time. And he sat down and he told me the case and he said, yeah, we're gonna get you paid. He said, those scars on your arms are pretty nasty, so we're gonna get you paid. I said, heck yeah. And then about 3 weeks later, he called me. He says, I got some good news. And I said, what? Am I getting paid? He said, not quite. He said, but that lady had pretty good insurance. He said that she doesn't have the best insurance, but she has good insurance, so that's good for us. I said, okay, cool. So in the ensuing months, I'm going to the doctor, I'm going to the chiropractor, all that stuff. You gotta rack up the bills, I guess, you know what I mean? So it took about maybe 7 or 8 months, and I'll never forget this day. So Adam Stokes calls me. He said, Lamont, come on down. I got a check for you. And I said, oh my. And I'm going to get paid. I'm going to get a lot of money. I go down there, and there's a check for $21,000 with my name on it. Amazing. I never in my life ever had that kind of money. And I said, I'm rich. Not quite, but you know. And I said, $21,000. I'll never forget it. My bank account was negative like $90. So I go to the bank, and I got this huge check, and I'm like, are they gonna believe that this is my check? Or are they gonna think that I'm passing a fake check? I was so stupid. So I go to the counter, I'm like, I just look at the check, and I'm like, okay, they're gonna ask me for like my ID, my social security number, my mother's favorite colors, everything. But no, they just deposited. And I had $21,000 in the bank. And some of you guys are asking out there. Some of you guys are asking as I'm acting. You're saying, what'd you do with the money, Lamont? What'd you do with the money? I spent it. Well, I bought a van. That was $1,300. No, it was $800. He was asking $1,300. I offered him $8. He actually took it. It was a great van, 1988 GMC Vandura. I actually lived in it for some time too. One of the best vans I've ever had. So I bought a van. I ended up buying another motorcycle. I bought a car. I bought a little 1991 Geo Metro. Fantastic little car. Probably my favorite car I've ever driven in my life. So I bought a 1992 Kawasaki, whatever little cruiser motorcycle it was, 700 cc's, Intruder, Suzuki Intruder is what I bought. I bought the Geo Metro. I bought that van. I stopped working like crazy hours, so I only worked the scheduled hours that I worked. So, so I went on a little vacation, if you will. I tried to open up, I rented a pizza kitchen in this bar. That ended miserably, so I lost a couple dollars right there. So basically, I dwindled the money down to right at around $6,500. So I had $6,500 left in my bank account. And it took me a long time to spend what I did. I think it took me, I want to say about 2.5, 3 years. So I wasn't like going around blowing the money. About 2.5, 3 years that a good part of that money lasted. And after that, I didn't touch the rest. I just basically put it in my savings account. And still to this day, that $6,500 has not been touched. And I'm quite proud of myself for not touching that. So anyways, Adam Stokes, eventually he sold his 444 practice to somebody else. So I'm in Las Vegas last week, and I don't know why, but I decided to Google Adam Stokes because a thought occurred to me that I never see him advertising in any part of the city anymore. I thought maybe he had moved to a different city and started another practice. And then I was sad to see that his obituary. I was actually very surprised because he was young. He was only 49 years of age. And I wasn't able to really look up how he died. But if I find out, I'll put it in the screen below. That's how I normally do it is, I just kind of start looking. Just a very, very nice guy. And I don't know, a small part of my Vegas life, me living here, getting hit by that smoking hot chick. She was really beautiful. And he got me paid. He kind of, I learned after going through that money, I learned the value of $1. And I learned that, whatever money you have, don't think it's going to come again. You know what I mean? Because, to me, that was almost like a once in a lifetime thing, opportunity. Well, until YouTube came. But that's just a small little bit of history of yours truly, Lamont at Large. This is the final resting place of my attorney, Adam Stokes. You can see his name right here, Adam D. Stokes. Now, of course, the Jewish tradition is that when we die, we don't get a marker placed at our location of rest until a year after the death date. So he died in July. So by this time, you know, in this year, July, he'll have his new marker, and I'll come by and show it to you guys next time I come out here. But yeah, very nice guy. Very nice guy. He's like, yeah, we'll get you paid. So rest in peace to my attorney, Mr. Adam Stokes. And rest in peace to all those here at the cemetery. And before I leave, I'm gonna end the vlog here, and I gotta go visit somebody that they're at a location not too far away from where I'm currently walking right now. So, all right, guys, I gotta get out of here. Live, but not live, but still alive by the grace of God. I'm Lamont at large. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm gonna go over here and pay my respects to somebody that I once knew. See you later. Peace out.